Hey, what's up? So I just finished watching The Crow reboot. I wasn't planning to watch it, but I saw it pop up on a watchable thing. So, yeah, I thought it looked terrible, man. I watched the trailer, I was looking at the characters, and I was like, this looks like crap. And then I found out that it was like a reboot of the original The Crow, and I don't know why they would do that. Like, why not just make a new one? I mean, there's been like three movies, right? If I remember correctly, there's been at least three different movies. I'm pretty sure. Um, So I don't know why they did a reboot and why not just do like another version. That didn't make any sense to me. And I was gonna write like a real quick post about the movie, and I'm writing it, and I'm like, you know what? I actually liked this more than I feel like I did. Because it's so boring. It's so boring. It takes around like an hour and 10 minutes. Is like an hour and 40 long minute movie, or hour and 50 minutes, or something minus the credits, right? So it's like at least probably 10 minutes of credits. Um, but it took more than half the movie to actually get to the revenge part of the story, right? So it was just a lot of boring, just I'm not a fan of the makeup costume design at all. Um, but I did like the characters. I liked the acting. The acting was actually decent. All roles, all parts were actually pretty well played. Except I don't like the main character. I don't know what it. I think he doesn't look right to me. Like, not right for the part, not right for the character. Like, just weird. And like I said, the acting was decent, but I could not feel him at all. And I remember I forgot I had seen some comments before. People were just talking about it, and I happened to catch them. And somebody had mentioned FKA Twigs was in it, and I was like, why? And they were saying that too, like, why would you have FKA Twigs? Like, that's just weird, right? But I didn't even realize, I forgot about this because I saw that like a month or so ago, and she was pretty. She's a pretty person, or whatever. And I've heard their music before, and I know there's like some. I don't remember exactly what's going on, like behind the scenes, or whatever kind of conspiracy and evil stuff is in the back. I don't remember what that is. I just remember I liked some of their songs, their music. Anyways, so the acting was decent. The cinematography was decent. Like the scenery and the camera work and everything was pretty cool. The music, the soundtrack is great. The soundtrack was really good. And I remember after I was thinking about that, because every time I heard a song playing, like, it was just boring, right? They had this like really cool music playing, but it'd be like just nothing happening. It was just boring. But then I was sitting, every time I would hear a new song, I'd be like, man, this is good music. And then I was like, oh yeah, the original movie had a good soundtrack too. Like, everybody praised the soundtrack of the original movie. I like the soundtrack for this new one. So anyways, I just thought it was interesting because I'm sitting here like thinking about like a quick way to describe the movie. Like, it was all right. Like, it wasn't worth watching, but here's like a bunch of good things about it. And I was thinking, I was like, man, this is dumb. Here I am. I'm like in my mind, and I'm like writing this little thing out, and I'm like trashing on the movie. But I also enjoyed some of it. Like, the story was too cool. Like, I like the story. I like the bad guy, the main bad guy. Should have been more there. That would have been cool if there was more there. It was just so dragged out. Like, they literally spent an hour just trying to make you fall in love with this romance, which just wasn't good. Like, that's the thing that's funny to me, because like the general story was decent. But like, they spent way too much time trying to make me care about two characters that I just was not ever going to care about. What I care more about is the whole, like, why they would need to get revenge, who's the bad guy, like, whatever. It's weird. Like, it just it was just weird, man. But yeah, like, good acting, good music, good decent story. Um, and I mostly hated them because it was so boring. 90% of it was nothing. 90% of it was nothing, dude. And then when they went into like the here's your powers thing, like with the crows and the other, realm or whatever, like, that was poorly done. Like, it was okay, but it was poorly done. Like, it just, like, that part felt like rushed or something. Um, all the best parts were like the smallest parts of the movie, right? Like, because I'm telling you, man, they spent so much time just like trying to, like, just showing this love affair or whatever, this romance that was just never good. It was just never good to me, anyways. I don't know. Like I think in a book it would make more, like the longer, like if you would get more story, whatever. But wouldn't even need that or anything really. I don't know, man. It's weird. Anyways, so I just felt like sharing some thoughts on it because I would not recommend watching it. I wouldn't. I wish it was better. I Cause like I said, like there's a lot of good stuff about it, but it was just so dragged out. They spent way too much time on the romance part, which is a weird thing to say, because like the entire point of why these things happen with the crow and what happens is because of love. So I'm not against like the romance part of the story. Like I I like romance and whatever. I'm a big fan of love, but they just wasted so much time on nothing, them just making out, and it was kind of like Twilight almost, just them just staring at each other and whatever. And it's just like, dude, what the hell, man. Anyways, just want to share some thoughts on that. See you later. Bye bye.